Dear students, this video is in continuation with the previous video of Act 2 Scene 2. In the previous video, we had read that Launcelot and his father, Old Gobbo, are conversing, and while they are talking, they see Bassanio coming towards them. So Launcelot feels that he is fortunate enough because they were just talking about Bassanio. Launcelot was telling his father that he wants to serve Bassanio and not Shylock. And at the same time, Bassanio was seen walking towards them. And then he tells his father, Launcelot tells old Gobbo, that go to him because he says, I will serve the Jew no longer. And if he keeps on serving the Jew, he will turn into a Jew himself. Now, enter Bassanio with Leonardo and other followers. Bassanio, you may do so, but let it be hasted that supper be ready at the farthest by 5 of the clock. See this letters delivered, put the liveries to making, and desire Gratiano to come and into my lodging. So Bassanio is seen talking to his servant. He is ordering him something. He has a party that night. He has organized a dinner that night, and he is giving his servant instructions regarding the same. He tells him that you may do this as I tell you, but hurry up. Let it be so hasted. Hasted means hurry up or speed up, that supper be ready at farthest by 5 of the clock. He says you should hurry up so that supper, that means dinner, is ready at the latest by 5 o'clock. So he tells him to hurry up so that the dinner is ready at the latest by 5 o'clock. Then he also tells him to deliver the letters and put the liveries to making. Liveries means uniform of the servants. So he says that arrange for the uniforms to be made, uniform of servants to be made, and desire Gratiano to come anon. Anon means soon, at once, to my lodging. Lodging means room. So he's saying that you should arrange for the uniforms to be made and tell Gratiano to reach at his room at once. So what instructions does Bassanio give to his servant? Firstly, he tells him to hurry up so that dinner is ready by 5 o'clock. Then secondly, he tells him to deliver the letters. He adds on that he should arrange for the uniforms to be made, and he should convey to Gratiano that he wants to meet him soon at his room. The servant leaves. Now Launcelot, to him father, Launcelot is telling his father that I want to serve him. He might have pointed out towards Bassanio. Gobbo, God bless your worship. So old Gobbo is saying, may God bless you. Bassanio says, gramercy, wouldest thou aught with me? So Bassanio says that may God grant his mercy to you too. So he's saying, what do you want from me? Do you want anything from me? On this, Gobbo says, here's my son, sir, a poor boy. So Gobbo says that he points out towards Launcelot and tells him that he is my son and he is a poor boy. So every time Gobbo speaks something, Launcelot will interrupt in between, and he will say a line or two, and then he'll say that my father will talk. My father will elaborate further what I want to say. So every time Gobbo talks, Launcelot will interrupt and he will say that my father shall specify further, or my father will let you know things further. So this way, Bassanio is not able to understand that what both of them want from Bassanio. So when Gobbo says that he is my son who's a poor boy, Launcelot interrupts and say, not a poor boy, sir, but the rich Jew's man. He says, I am not a poor boy, but I am the rich Jew's man, means I am a servant of a rich Jew. That would, sir, as my father shall specify. He says, my father will specify you further, will explain you further. Gobbo, He hath a great infection, sir, as one would say, to serve you. So both Launcelot and Gobbo are in habit of using wrong words. So here, instead of infection, Gobbo should have used affection. So the word is wrongly used here. He says that he has great affection to serve you. Launcelot, indeed, the short and the long is, I serve the Jew and have a desire as my father shall specify. So again, Launcelot interrupts and he says that, in short, I want to say that I am serving Jew right now, but I wish as my father will tell you. So he has not told that what he wishes. He wishes to serve Bassanio actually, but he says that my father will explain you further. Gobbo, his master and he, saving your worship's reverence, are scare-catter cousins. Scare-catter cousins means that they are not in good terms. They do not share good terms. So he's saying, he says from here, see, read reference number 137 and 138. It says, with apology to you, sir, with respect to you, sir, the dialect expression that he is going to use. He is going to call Launcelot and Shylock scare-catter cousins. That means they do not share close relationship and they do not have good terms. That is why he apologized before saying that. He says that his master, that is Shylock, and he are scare-catter cousins. That means they do not have good terms and they are not close to each other. Launcelot, to be brief, again Launcelot interrupts. To be brief, the very truth is that the Jew, having done me wrong, doth cause me as my father being, I hope, an old man shall fructify unto you. He says that in fact, he says that in brief, I want to say that the truth is that the Jew has done me wrong. And he says, doth cause me as my father being, I hope, an old man shall fructify unto you. Here fructify is again wrongly used. Instead of fructify, notify should be used. So he's saying here that the Jew has done lots of wrong things to him, has done injustice to him, and he has caused me. So he doesn't complete his sentence here. He says, as my old father will explain you. So again, he interrupts and then he says that my father will explain you further. Every time he interrupts old Gobbo and he starts speaking something and leaves his sentence incomplete and says that my father will explain you further. I have here a dish of doves that I would bestow upon your worship, and my suit is. So Gobbo tells Bassanio that I have bought a dish of doves for you and I would like to give it to you, and my suit is, he says, my request is, suit means request. Again Launcelot interrupts. In very brief, the suit is impertinent. Pertinent means relevant. So he's saying the request is relevant to myself. He says that the request concerns me, is regarding me. As your worship shall know by this honest old man. He says this honest old man, that is old Gobbo, will tell you that what the request is. And though I say, though old man, yet poor man, my father. He says I am calling him a old man who is a poor man also, but he is my father. So he doesn't make any sense. Every time he interrupts old Gobbo, starts speaking something, leaves his statement in between and says my father will explain you further. So Bassanio is fed up of all this. And finally he says, one speak for both. What would you? He says, let one of you speak for both of you. What do you want? So he says, tell me clearly that what both of you want. One should speak at a time, he says. Launcelot, serve you, sir. So now Launcelot has come straight to the point. He says, I want to serve you, sir. Gobbo, this is the very defect of the matter, sir. So he's saying, defect again is used wrongly. It means effect. He says, this is what they wanted to say. This is just the gist of our request, sir. This is what we were trying to say all this time. Bassanio, I know thee well. He says, I know you well. Thou hast obtained thy suit. He says, you have obtained your request. He says, you have been granted your request. Shylock, thy master spoke with me this day. He says, Shylock, your master, spoke to me about you today. This day means today. And hath preferred thee. And he says, he has recommended thee. He has recommended you. If it is preferment, he says, if it is, if you consider it as a promotion, preferment means promotion, to leave a rich Jew service to become the follower of a poor gentleman. He says, I know you very well and I agree to your request. He says, Shylock, your master, spoke to me about you today and he has recommended you to me if it is a promotion to leave the service of rich Jew to serve a poor man like me. See, why is he referring to rich Jew here? Because if you remember earlier in the scene, Bassanio, when Gobbo introduced Launcelot as a poor man's son, he says, I am not a poor man's son, but a rich Jew's man. So that is why maybe Bassanio has referred to this line here. He says that if you consider it as a promotion to leave rich Jew services and serve a poor man like me. So now Launcelot uses a proverb. He says the old proverb is very parted between my master Shylock and you, sir. He says the old proverb is actually is applicable to you and my master Shylock. You have the grace of God, sir, and he hath enough. So he says that you have the grace of God, you have God's blessing, and Shylock has enough. Enough here means he has enough wealth. So he says so because Bassanio says no that if you agree to leave rich Jew. So he's saying though he is rich, he has got enough wealth, but you have grace of God, you have blessings of God. So in plain terms, he wants to say that he would serve Bassanio. Bassanio, thou speakest it well. He says that you speak well. Go, father, with thy son. Then he tells old Gobbo to go with his son. He says that you should go with your son. Take leave of thy master. Then he tells Launcelot to take leave of his old master, that is Shylock, and inquire my lodging out. He says, and inquire about my house, the way to my house. Then he starts talking to his followers, the servants. Give him a livery. He says that give him a uniform more guarded than his fellows. He says the uniform should be more, should have more decorations and ornamental strips than other servants. See it done. He says then make sure it is done. So in this extract, Bassanio tells Launcelot that you speak well because he has spoken a proverb which is suited, which is applicable to his old master, that is Shylock and Bassanio. He says that you have God's blessing, whereas Shylock has enough wealth. So he means that he would serve Bassanio. Bassanio, on listening this, says that you speak well. Then he tells his father to go with your son. He says Launcelot to take leave from his old master and then find out the way to my house. He orders his servant to give him a uniform that is more decorative than other servants and tells him that make sure that it is done. Launcelot, father in, I cannot get a service, no. I have near a tongue in my head. So here he is saying that father come along. He's telling his father to come along. He says that you said that I could not get a job. You said that I could not speak for myself. He means that he is not having words to express that he has actually, he will be actually serving Bassanio. So he's saying, come in. He tells his father, come along with me. I cannot get a service. I have near tongue in my head. So this might be taken in other context also. He might have meant here that his father might have said him earlier that you cannot get a job and you cannot work with Bassanio. Or as mentioned in the reference 164 to 165 here, it says here, and also in the rest of the speech Launcelot is joking and by saying the opposite of what he means. He says, I cannot speak for myself. I have head. See, I have near a tongue in my head means I cannot speak for myself. He says, I cannot speak for myself. That means he is speaking opposite of what he has done. He has actually spoken for himself. He has told Bassanio that he wants to serve him. But what is he saying? He says that I cannot speak for myself. So he means opposite of what he is saying. Well, on his palm. So now he is pretending to be palmist and he is looking at his own palm and he is reading his own palm now. If any man in Italy have a fairer table, which doth offer to swear upon a book, I shall have good fortune. So he says that if any man in Italy has more fortunate palm, which he places on Bible when he is swearing an oath, he says, I have a good fortune. So he says, see, if you have ever seen movies also, people usually place right hand on Bible and swear an oath before they say something. They usually do this in a court. So they swear and so he's saying if any, so they swear by placing right hand on the Bible or Gita here. So being Christians, they swear on Bible by placing right hand. So he says that if no man in Venice has a better palm, that means a good fortune than I have. Go to, he says, go to means look. Here's a simple line of life. So he reads his line of life. So he says there is a simple line of life on my hand. Here's a trifle of wives. So then he says that here is a small unimportant, trifle means unimportant matter. So he says that here is an unimportant line dealing with marriage. Alas, then he feels sad. 15 wives is nothing. So as he is reading his hand, he feels that he has got 15 wives. He is not happy with the number. He says 15 wives is nothing. He says 11 widows and 9 maids is a simple coming in for one man. He says that an appropriate number for one man is 9 maids. Maids means unmarried girls, and 11 widows. He says that this is a perfect number for a man. Is a simple coming in terms of dowry. He says if he had 11 widows and 9 maids, he would receive enough dowry on his marriage. No, so he's saying that is a perfect number for a man to get married to. See, he's not happy that he has only 15 wives. So he thinks the perfect number to get married to is 11 widows and 9 maids. Then he says, then to escape drowning thrice. He says, I will escape drowning 3 times. And to be in peril of my life. Peril means danger, with edge of a feather bed. See, a bed made of feathers will not have any edges. And if a person falls from a bed that is made up of feathers, he won't get hurt. So he's saying that my life will be in danger because I'll fall off from a feather bed. Here are simple escapes. He says I'll escape very simply from the dangers that I have in my life. He says he'll be escaped from drowning 3 times, and his life will be in danger as with the edge of a feather bed. He says that and be in danger, and my life will be in danger from falling out from a feather bed, as I'll fall out from a feather bed. Well, if fortune be a woman, she's good wench for this gear. So he is personifying fortune. He says if fortune is a woman, then she is a good wench. Wenchly means lady. She says she is a good lady for this gear, means for this purpose, because he will escape from all the dangers in his life. So, father, come, I'll take my leave of the Jew in twinkling of an eye. In twinkling of an eye means in a moment. So, I am explaining once again what this Launcelot has said in this extract. He says that, father, come along. He says that I cannot speak for myself. But he means actually the opposite. He has actually spoken for himself to Bassanio, and he will be serving him now. Then he says, no man in whole Italy has more fortunate palm, which he places on Bible when he is taking an oath, than myself. He says, I am most fortunate in all Italy. So nobody in Italy is as fortunate as I am. Therefore, he says, I'll have a better luck. Then he sees his palm and he says, here is a simple line of life. And then he says, there is an unimportant line which refers to marriage. He says, I will marry 15 wives. But he says that are not too many. He is not happy with the number of wives. He says 11 widows and 9 virgins, 9 maidens is a good record for a man. Then he says, I will be saved from drowning 3 times, and I'll be in danger. My life will be in danger because I'll fall from a feather bed. But he says there are simple escapes. He says if fortune is a woman, then she is kind to him because for this purpose, because he'll escape for telling him the fortune. So he's saying that is why he calls that fortune is a good wench, is a kind lady, he means. Then he tells his father that come with me to Joe's house and I will take leave from him in a moment. Then both of them exit from the scene. Bassanio, I pray thee, good Leonardo, think on this. So Bassanio is again seen talking to Leonardo. He tells him that I request you, Leonardo, think about this. These things being bought and orderly bestowed. He says that when you have bought these things, pack them properly. So probably he is planning to leave for Belmont. So he might be talking to Leonardo in this regard. He's telling him to buy some things and pack them up properly. Return in haste. He tells him to buy some things, pack them up properly, and he should return back quickly. In haste means quickly. For I do feast tonight. He says you should come back quickly after doing all these things, after bringing the things that I've told you and packing them up properly. You should come back quickly because I have dinner that night. My best esteemed acquaintance, he says, I have dinner that night. I am giving dinner tonight to my intimate friends, to my best friends, to my honored friends. Hie thee go. He says, hurry up and go. Moving on to next page. Leonardo, my best endeavors shall be done herein. So Leonardo says that I shall do my best in that matter. Now enter Grishanio. Grishanio, where is your master? So Grishanio is talking to Leonardo and he asks him that where is your master, means where is Bassanio? Leonardo, yonder sir. He walks. Yonder sir means over there. He says he is walking over there. Grishanio ignored Bassanio. He addresses Bassanio, greets Bassanio Bassanio, Grishanio. Grishanio, I have suit to you. I have suit to you means I have request to make. Suit, as I've already told you earlier means request. Bassanio, you have obtained it. So without even Grishanio saying that what is the request, he says that I have granted you whatever you are asking for, whatever your request is. Grishanio, you must not deny me. I must go with you to Belmont. He says, then if you have granted me the request, then you should not refuse me later. I want to come with you to Belmont. So what is the request? What is the suit made by Grishanio to Bassanio? That he wants to accompany Bassanio to Belmont. So Bassanio tells him that why then you must. He says, then you must accompany me. If you wish, I am not denying anything, you can accompany me. But he has certain conditions for Grishanio to follow. He says, but hear thee, Grishanio. He says, but you should listen to me, Grishanio. Thou art too wild. He says that you are too wild. Too wild here means that you are too uncontrollable and rough, too rude and bold of voice. He says that you are very wild, you are too rude means unmannerly, and bold of voice means you are very loud at voice. He says you are very wild at your behavior, you are also very unmannerly, and you speak very loudly, you are loud at your voice. Parts that become thee happily enough. He says that these qualities, parts means qualities, become the happily enough. He says that these qualities are tolerated here. Such things, such qualities like your wildness, your rudeness, and your loud voice is tolerated happily here with the and in such eyes as ours appears no fault. He says these are your such qualities are happily accepted in the eyes of your friends who do not consider them as faults. So he's saying that people who know you, they do not consider these qualities as your fault, and they tolerate all these things. But where thou art not unknown, why thee they show? Why there they show something too liberal? He says, but where you are not known, they appear as faults. They appear as something too liberal, means you would be considered rather of a very free nature, of a very liberal nature, not of a serious nature. So what is Bassanio telling Grishanio here? That you can accompany me to Belmont, but you should listen that you are very wild, rude and bold in your voice, and these qualities are accepted happily by your friends who do not consider it as your faults. But he says, among the people who do not know you, they will think it as your faults. They will consider it as your fault. These qualities will be considered as your faults, and you will be considered very, very free in your manner, and you will not be considered a serious person. You will be considered an unmannerly person if you carry on with your such behavior amongst the people who do not know you. Pray thee, take pain. He says, I request you, take pain to allay some cold drops of modesty. He says that I request you, to allay means to moderate with some cold drops of modesty. He says that you should try to moderate your behavior. He says that you should take pain. Take pain here means take trouble. To allay means to moderate with some cold drops of modesty. With some cold drops here means with the certain degree, certain amount of modesty. Of modesty means of decency. So he says that you should, I request you, take some trouble to allay. To allay means to moderate. With some cold drops means with certain amount, with certain degree of modesty, of decency. Thy skipping spirit, lest through thy wild behavior, I be misconstrued in the place I go and lose my hopes. So he says that thy skipping spirit, skipping here means that your wild behavior, otherwise, lest means otherwise, through thy wild behavior, I be misconstrued. He says, I will be misunderstood because of your behavior in the place I go. So they are planning to go to Belmont, no? And he says, in that case, I will lose all my hopes. So what hopes does he has? He has a wish to marry Portia. He says, if you continue with your such behavior, even I will be misunderstood because of you, and all my hopes to marry Portia will be lost. So that is what he means in this extract. I am repeating this again. He says, Bassanio tells Grishanio that you can accompany me to Belmont, but he says you should listen, that you are very rash, unmannerly and loud at your voice. These qualities suit you well here with the people who know you and they do not consider it as fault, but among the people who do not know you, these qualities show that you are very coarse and rough and unmannerly. He says, therefore I request you, take some trouble to moderate your wild spirit with bit of modesty. Otherwise, he says, I too will be misunderstood and lose all hopes. I will be misunderstood at the place we are going. I will be misunderstood at Belmont and I will lose all hopes to win Portia. That is what he means. Moving on to next page. Grishanio. Signor Bassanio, hear me. So he says, Bassanio now, Grishanio tells Bassanio that listen to me. If I do not put on sober habit, he says, if I do not put on a serious manner, talk with respect, he says, if I do not put on a serious manner and if I do not talk with respect and swear but now and then. Swear but now and then means swear occasionally. It was considered a bad habit to swear, very often. So he says, I will not swear very often, I will swear occasionally. Wear prayer books, he says, I will carry prayer books in my pocket. Look demurely. Demurely means I will have a serious look. So what does he say? Till here he says that, listen to me, Bassanio, if I do not put on a serious appearance, if I do not talk respectfully, and if I do not swear occasionally, and if I do not carry prayer books in my pocket and look serious, nay more, while the grace is saying, hood mine eyes, thus with my hat, and sigh and say amen. He says then, see, prayer was always said before the meals. Grace is saying this, he means while prayer is being said. He says that when the prayer will be said, I will hood my eyes, means I will cover my eyes with my hat, thus with my hat. He says then when the prayer will be said, I will cover my eyes with my hat, I will sigh, I will take a deep breath and say amen. See, all these qualities are of a civilized people. So he says that if I do not put all these qualities in, if I do not inculcate all these qualities in myself, then he says, use all the observance of civility. He says, I will use all the observance of civility. He means that observance here means that he will observe, he will inculcate in him all the behavior of a civilized person, like one well studied in sad assent. Sad assent here means serious appearance. He says, I will practice serious appearance to please his grandmom. He says, I will put on serious appearance so as to please a old lady. Grandmom means grandmother. He says, I will put on such a behavior that it would even please a grandmother. So it is very difficult to please old women. So he says, I will go to that extent that I could even please a grandmother. Never trust me more. He says, if I do not do so, as I've told you, you can never trust me in future. So what all does he say here? I'm repeating again. He says, Mr. Bassanio, listen to me. If I do not put on a serious appearance, talk respectfully, swear occasionally, walk he says, I will walk with prayer books in my pocket and I will look serious. And he says, when the prayer is being said, I will cover my eyes with my hat and sigh and say Amen. And he says, I will also follow all the rules of civil and polite behavior, like a person who is trained to look very serious to please his grandmother. He says, if I do not do so, you can never trust me in future. Bassanio, on hearing this, says, well, we shall see you bearing. So he says, I shall study your behavior then. So Grishanio says, but I bar tonight. You shall not judge me by what I do tonight. He says, you should not judge me by what I do tonight, because Bassanio is having a dinner party that night, no? So he says, please let me, no, do not judge me by my behavior this night, because he's planning to enjoy with his friends. He says, today I won't put on serious behavior. So do not judge me by my behavior tonight. Bassanio, no, that were pity. He says, no, I won't. I will exempt you for your behavior tonight. I would entreat you rather to put on your boldest suit of mirth, for we have friends that propose merriment. He says that I would rather suggest you to put on your most joyful mood tonight, because he says we have friends that propose, that intend to enjoy. So merriment means to have fun or to enjoy, to be merry, to be happy. He says that I would pity to do that. I will not do that. I am not going to judge you tonight. He says, I would actually request you. I would request you to put on your most joyful mood tonight, because we have some friends who want to enjoy themselves tonight. But fare you well, I have some business. Then he bids him farewell, because he says, I have some work to do. Grishanio, and I must too, Lorenzo, and the rest, but we will visit you at supper time. So he says, I must go to Lorenzo and others, but we will meet at supper time. With this, the scene is over. I hope you have understood. In case you have any doubt, do let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much.